Hi DIYers, this is Frank at Alarm Grid. We're back in the Alarm Grid lab working with the Lyric controller and the 5800 Mini. This is currently the newest wireless sensor that Honeywell came out with on the 5800 series. When the Lyric released, there was a whole new line of sensors, encrypted 256-bit AES encrypted sensors, the 6 series, and those have been the new line of touted sensors where the Lyric is the only sensor that those will work on currently, soon to be the Lyric Gateway just above me. But the 5800 series sensors still have their purpose. In some cases, they are more convenient, whether it has to do with the dimensions of the sensor. I know there have been some complaints about the size of the 6 series that may change over time, but right now the 5800 Mini is a very popular item, and it'll be the best sensor for windows in most cases if you're doing a surface mount, because it will be able to protect double hung windows with its 1-inch width. It'll be able to fit on top of that window to be able to protect the up and down movement. So today we're going to show you how to program this into your Lyric controller. We're going to put this box away here. The first thing you do when you open this up is pull the battery tab. There's a tab between the battery and the sensor. You would pull that out and then snap the tamper cover shut. And then you want to have your magnet on the proper side of the sensor. You can see on the side of the 5800 Mini there are 5 ridges, and that's where the reed switch is. So you want to have your magnet lined up just beside that, and then you can hold it with one hand to keep it happy, and we'll pop into programming mode. So to do that, we'll hit the home screen, the home button beneath the touch screen to get us to the home screen here, and then hit security, and then we'll go right into tools and then enter our installer code. We have the installer code on 4112. That is the default if you haven't changed it, or if your system is brand new out of the box. If your system is pre-existing and you're trying to get into programming and you're not sure what your installer code is, we do have a video to get you back into programming mode on our channel, so you can look for that for the Lyric. And so assuming that we do have the installer code, we can enter tools and then 4112 or whatever your installer code is. And then we'll hit program and zones. So this will put us into our zone programming here. What we're going to do is, we already have some zones programmed. If you didn't, then you could overwrite some of your zones up top here. We'll just jump down to a new zone. We'll start with zone 11 here. First, you want to select the zone so it's highlighted in blue, and then hit edit. Now you'll see the programming menu here. So the first thing we'll start with is enrolling the serial number. Every wireless sensor has a 7-digit serial number that's specific to this unit. And what we'll do is, there's 2 ways to enter the serial number. One is to auto-enroll, and the other is to manually enter it. The serial number is listed on the box and inside the unit, so you can manually enter it if you like. We prefer to auto-enroll to avoid any entering errors, and it also can be more convenient if you've already installed the sensor and you don't want to pop the tamper cover open. So we can go to serial number. We first have to click into here to auto-enroll. If you're trying to auto-enroll from this main menu, it will not work. So click into serial number. It'll say enter serial number or activate sensor. Down here in the bottom right, you'll see RF type, and you can kind of roll through these. The first selection is actually a 5800 series type, so we can actually roll through these and just leave it on that. And then once you have your sensor ready, whether it's on a window or a door or in your hand at the panel like we have it now, you can then open the sensor. You want to get at least a couple inches away and then push it back, and you'll hear a single beep. That'll be the first trip. You want to pull it away and push it back. You got your second beep, and you'll see the serial number and the loop pull up. I'm going to pull it away and push it back, and you have your 3 beeps. That's your third confirmation to enroll the unit. And now you have your serial number showing here on the screen along with the proper loop. So the 5800 Mini, just like the 5811, uses loop 1. That's the only loop it uses. There's no internal contacts for wired sensors or anything like that. So basically just keep this on loop 1. The next thing we'll do is name the zone. We'll use this as a side window just for today's purposes. So as soon as you start entering that word, it'll automatically pull it from the library, and you can just click done to select it. Anything out of the library will not voice announce on the keypad. You can still keep it. It'll show on Total Connect. It'll show to your central station, but it will not show. It will not voice announce when it chimes. So we have side there. We can select window here, and you'll see that it automatically chooses perimeter as the response type. Perimeter is active during away and stay mode, and essentially what that means is the sensor is active immediately. So when you arm the system, if you open the window, the alarm goes off instantly, whether it's arm away or arm stay. That's what you want for basically any window. If you were to program this as a door, we can change this to door here. The default response type for that would be entry exit 1. An entry exit zone is going to give you an entry delay period of 30 seconds by default and 60 seconds on the delay, on the exit delay. Now you can adjust those if you need more time to get to the panel and disarm on your way in, or more time to exit on your way out after you've already armed the system. That's a separate setting in the panel programming, which we have in another video. But basically this delay zone would be for an entry point where you're coming in and out. You can also set a door to perimeter. If you have maybe a back door or a side door that you don't use to enter and exit, and you want that door to trip the alarm immediately if it were to open when the system is armed, then you want to set that to perimeter as well. For today, we'll change this back to window so that we have side window, and it's on perimeter so that it's an instant trip. Alarm report, you always want the system to report the alarm. That'll go out to the central station if you have monitoring. If you don't, it won't do anything, so you don't have to worry about it. The chime mode, you can select which tone you like. You can cycle through these and it'll actually read them right out. If it's not giving you the chime tone on here, that means that the home screen settings, the volume isn't up, so you have to drag that volume up before coming into programming, and then you'll be able to hear these chime tones as you cycle through. We'll leave it on melody for now. The supervision, we always want to have these supervised. That will allow the panel to check in with this and make sure that if it ever falls offline or if there's ever any RF interference that occurs, the panel will report it, and you'll get a trouble on the keypad so that your alarm company can assist in troubleshooting that and making it so the 5800 Mini is in good contact and communication with the panel. So once we're done with all that programming, we can save. We can use the top right key to back all the way out of programming mode. And then once you're backed all the way out, at the home screen, you can hit the home button. On the settings screen here, you'll see the volume. This is what I was talking about earlier. That is what will allow you to determine your voice and chime. Also, you'll see voice and chime here. If those are not in blue, then you will not get any chime from any sensors, even if in the zone programming they're enabled. This is a global setting that has to be enabled for that to work. If you just want voice, that's not a feature, unfortunately. You can do chime only, or you can do voice and chime. So we'll do voice and chime and hit save, and that will open the sensor. We have our melody,
side window,
and it will announce side window. We have the not ready to arm fault, and then when I put it back, we have our ready to arm chime mode on. So that is how you program a 5800 Mini to the Honeywell Lyric controller. If you have any other questions regarding the 5800 Mini or the Lyric, you can email us at support@alarmgrid.com, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.